So this is Tuulia and Pete of Honesty Europe, and we're doing few videos about physical sensations, noticing what's happening in your body, and so on. And now I want to ask you questions about what if somebody has a really hard time noticing anything in their body?
Mm-hmm. Oftentimes when I hear that, like at our retreats in Finland, where often you and I each spend a lot of time barefoot, walking in the forest, walking around between the cabins, um, I often think or tell people, if you're not feeling anything, try walking in the forest barefoot for a couple of minutes. You'll surprisingly feel, I imagine, a lot of things. Some pleasant, like walking on the moss or warm piece of ground, or a cool piece of ground on a warm day, and sometimes not pleasant, walking on sticks and rocks and needles. Or Peter Levine, the founder or creator of somatic experiencing, his example is often to use the shower head, to just run the shower head over your body and just notice the contact of warm water against your skin, just as a tiny way to notice physical sensations. Um,
Uh-huh. And what kind of people in your experience have more hard time actually noticing anything when they're invited to check in what is happening in your body right now, what physical sensations you notice?
yes, certainly the people who have experienced trauma, where in the moment they sort of um, noticing those sensations was overwhelming for them, because so much arose for them in that moment that they were experiencing some sort of threat, and that to survive the moment, then they're sort of dissociated from those physical sensations, sort of shut down from that, experiencing that, and then after the threat ended, was unable to sort of come back online, noticing the sensations, because it was so overwhelming that that the mind didn't want to notice that again. And yeah, with somatic experiencing, we taking in small bits, sort of reintegrating those sensations little by little, can get back into a groove of noticing more often what is happening and not becoming overwhelmed by the sensations.
Mm. So what would you advise to a person who says, oh, this is overwhelming, or this, what is happening in my body right now, it's too much or so much?
Mm-hmm.
What would be your advice?
I'll start by doing something very simple. Again, I'm looking at, actually coincidentally, a ball on the ground that on the floor that has spikes on it.
Okay, I'll show it. Keep talking.
So just rolling your foot over a ball like that, noticing the sensations, or even just anything tactile, rubbing something like this, a spiky ball in your hands, noticing that, and noticing the shower contact against your skin. Any sort of thing that you can start out small and allow yourself to explore the sensation, allow yourself to notice if anything shifts or moves or transforms into something else. Rolling your hands over the spiky ball, and then not doing that, and noticing what's happening in your hands afterward, for example.
Yeah. And what about the people who don't have this trauma past so much, but who just have hard time really naming, and they want to name something extraordinary and big change or something like that? What would you say to that? We sometimes run into this as well.
Yeah, and radical honesty is very much a body-based practice, so we're noticing throughout this sort of out loud meditation of noticing what's happening in our body, noticing what's happening in our environment, with our hearing and our sight particularly, and noticing what thoughts we're having and what emotions, sort of a combination of the thoughts and the physical sensations. And noticing moment to moment to moment. And yeah, sometimes when people practice radical honesty, they think, oh, but I don't have any big sensations. Yeah. I guess I'm not angry because I'm not, my heart's not racing, and I'm not sweating, and I'm not very active, and we're not so interested in the evaluation of the physical
Right.
sensations. I think sometimes when people first starting to notice their sensations, being invited to notice their sensations, they want to evaluate it. It's not a something like, oh, my heart's beating, but it's not very fast. Once they start saying things like not very fast, they're now evaluating it, and now they're not noticing the sensation, they're now evaluating it, and it's a whole different activity.
Right. So basically, we are interested in whatever you can notice, big, small, it doesn't matter. Like right now, I notice a contact on my hair and my face. I notice some tightness in my back. I notice my hand against the pillow. I notice my butt on the sofa.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And all without trying to evaluate that. And I do judge that with practice, we get better and better and better. And for people who have experienced trauma, and they can also, as they heal their trauma, allow more of their physical sensations to come back online and back in tune with their thoughts. With their thoughts meaning noticing it.
Yeah.
Did that answer the question?
Yeah. So basically, what we're after is noticing whatever sensations you have. It doesn't need to be special, extraordinary, big shift or anything like that. Just noticing. And little steps, then you learn to maybe notice more. So let us know if you have any questions around topics around physical sensations and so on. This is Tuulia and Pete of Honesty Europe, and we're going to do a few videos around this topic. Ciao!
Goodbye.